Miss for a dollar, who seems like a terrible person?
Oh my God, I can't say the first person that came to mind.
No, say it.
I guess no, I can't say
Say it.
No, I'd be honest.
Say it! The answer is Leah Remini!
These are my most hated books of all fucking time. You should not buy these books. They're -5 out of 5 stars. They shouldn't even fucking exist. I already know how much I hate this author. What she did with this book was worse, okay? She took the greatest elements of high fantasies and the best elements of YA fantasy and combined them into one magical, fantastic world that you lose yourself in, and the plot twists are insane. Like, it's just so annoying to read. Next is Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings. Literally hated this book so much because it felt so real. Like, all of this was really happening. It just, like, it made me question reality, and it was the most detailed and powerful fantasy I've ever read in my life, and I literally hate that. Oh my god, don't even get me started on the Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This romance was so enticing, so beautiful. The writing was magical, and which was so disgusting, and I learned so much, especially about Chinese mythology throughout this book, and it just, like, made me so obsessed. This series got me into fantasy. It was like all of my favorite franchises in one book, one series. It was horrible. I cried my fucking eyes out. It was just like too much emotional damage for me. And this is the book I hate the most. Like, genuinely, it saved me when I was like little and like I was going through a really tough time. Literally, like, I don't know if I would still be alive without this book series, and that's just like pissing me off so much. Like, it helped me learn so much about myself and sexuality, and it made me like believe in love again, and that's just so yeah, don't buy any of these books. They're horrible.
Miss for a dollar, who seems like a terrible person?
Oh my God, I can't say the first person that came to mind.
No, say it.
I guess no, I can't say
Say it.
No, I'd be honest.
Say it! The answer is Leah Remini! Miss for a dollar, who seems like a terrible person?
Oh my God, I can't say the first person that came to mind.
No, say it.
I guess no, I can't say
Say it.
No, I'd be honest.
Say it! The answer is Leah Remini!
I read 100 books in 2022, and here were the bottom 5. I would not recommend these to anybody. These are not the books that I did not finish. Any book that I DNF'd did not get added into the 100 books that I read for the year. Those were simply too bad to even remember that they existed. So, here are the bottom 5 of 2022. Number 5 is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This book was gross to me. There was some weird step-sibling situations going on. It was just not it. The plot twist was just not good. It was kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie. It got 1 star. I went out and bought it because so many people had recommended it. Instantly donated it. Really bad. Do not recommend. Coming in at number 4 was Homesick for Another World by Otessa. This is a book that wants to gross you out on purpose, and I hated it. I did read it. I saw it through because I did read Year of Rest and Relaxation. I was like, Otessa wouldn't do me dirty. That was a really good book. No, it was gross for the sake of being gross. A bunch of just like strange innuendos, and just, it was nasty, and I really did not enjoy it, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. The picture wouldn't save, but coming in at number 3 is Gone to See the Riverman. This book fell short, like, a lot. It was recommended to me a lot as a thriller. I love psychological thrillers. This was not one. It was, the twist was predictable, and there were twists and turns that were there just for the sake of having twists and turns. The way that the author wrote female characters was not great, and considering the main character was a female character, it was not great. I gave it a 1.5 star review. It was bad. Number 2 was O. William by Elizabeth Strout. This book was just a bunch of nonsense babbling. It was like a biography that wasn't really a biography, and it was all over the place. It made no sense. There was no real character development. I had no idea what was going on. It was just strange. And I had read the previous Elizabeth Strout book, so I knew that this was like a continuation of this woman's story, and it was just weird. I got nothing out of it. It was just babbling. I gave it, I think, 2 stars, which this top 5 really doesn't have an order. It's just like the 5 that weren't great. Wouldn't recommend. Last would be The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. The plot was bad. The characters were bad. There were a bunch of modern day references that are going to make the book age like milk. It just was not good at all. I don't even think I gave it a star. Like, it was really bad.
I read 120 books in 2022, so let's talk about the 4 worst books that I read last year. Coming in at number 4, A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This is 5 days of my life I will never get back. If you want a fairy encyclopedia, this is the book for you. It is essentially 75% info dump of every fairy, fae, whatever concept you could possibly think of, explained at you paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. And there's maybe 25-30% plot in 500 pages. My God, this was dull. The characters were annoying, the pop culture references were so specific and so heavy-handed and so frequent. The last 20% of this book decides to completely change the magic system and introduce something entirely new, and it's just D&D. Like, I'm not kidding, there's a D20 involved. And if you like D&D, you might be like, that sounds great. No, it's not. No, it's not. As a D&D player, no, it's not. This was such a bad time. If I were the type to DNF books, I would have DNF'd this very early. As we've seen recently, I have DNF'd my first book, so hopefully I don't put myself through something like this again. Oh, and the entire thing ends in an ex machina so blatant the preceding 450 pages really don't matter if that's just how it was going to end anyway. At number 3, Always Only You by Chloe Lies. This was terrible. The writing is bad, the story is boring, the characters are bland. This reads like the first half of the book and the second half of the book were written like years apart, and the first half was just never updated to match the author's new writing style. So like the second half of the book reads totally different. The not like other girls energy in this is so strong. Oh, she eats burgers and she knows what a spark plug is. She's so cool. Shut the fuck up. And the main character's obsession with Harry Potter. When I say obsession with Harry Potter, I do not need to know how many pairs of Harry Potter panties she has. I don't need to know about her Hedwig panties. If you know the line that I'm talking about, The male main character is a nothing burger. He has one personality trait and it's his love of Shakespeare, and that is it. He is a cardboard cutout that likes Shakespeare. God, this was bad. I'm like legitimately making myself upset thinking about this book again because I read it quite some time ago now and it's bubbling up to the surface.